Good morning. I'm Charlene Rakshani, and we are broadcasting live from Southern California. Not so sunny today, a little bit of rain, but I'm loving the rain. I am an independent associate of Legal Shield, and I've been a member for about 6 years. And after receiving amazing benefits from just being able to pick up the phone and call a top-rated law firm here in the state of California where I live, has just really saved me a lot of grief, aggravation, time, and money. And for about 3-4 years, I've been bringing these plans to my local community, to business owners and to their employees. And right now, in the home care industry, I'm responding actually to a lot of changes and regulations, making sure that they know that there are services available to them that are very affordable. So today what we're going to do, and I'm going to be sharing my screen in just a few moments here, but today what we're going to do is bring some solutions to this industry, and also just talk about small business owners in general, the challenges they're facing today with regulations, specifically the home care industry, and those solutions. So I'm going to go ahead now, and it'll just take me a moment, but I'm going to share my screen and we will begin the presentation. Just give me a moment here. Okay, that should do it. And just a moment. Let's see. Okay. For some reason, the slide just disappeared. Just give me a moment. I'll go ahead and pull that up. These little glitches happen here and there, and today is no different, but we'll be up and running in just a moment, so bear with me. And by the way, I'm very new to this technology, but I'm really enjoying it. So if you're interested in learning about this, feel free to reach out to me. Okay. So here we go. Alrighty. Okay, so today we're going to talk about empowering small business owners with affordable access to quality law firms so they can protect and grow their business with the peace of mind that small business owners deserve. Okay, and in today's presentation, we're going to talk about the biggest challenges of small business owners, new regulations in the home care industry. We're going to talk about a new legal paradigm for legal solutions, and solutions that will protect your business and your family. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about the concerns of small business owners. First is protecting their business by incorporating. What does that look like? What should they do? An LLC, an S Corp, and a C Corp, all sorts of questions. Many small business owners have no human resource guidelines for firing, hiring, compensation, and employee review policies. They need to update their employee handbooks, and this is very important, especially in today's world where this can become a big issue if they're not compliant in this. Regulatory and compliance issues, including taxes, workers' comp laws, the ACA law, the independent contractor laws, and many of these different regulations that are happening in today's world. Okay, and also lack of well-defined contracts defining the terms, conditions, and liability for failure to perform. Also employee contracts that conform to current federal and state labor laws, and as we all know, they change quite often. So it's very important to know what the current regulations are each and every year, because start January 1, there's just new things that are hitting small business owners. Okay, and then of course, what everybody hopes will never happen, but it is a risk in some industries, and that's potential employee injuries, unemployment claims, and lawsuits. Okay, so now let's take a look at the new regulations in the home care industry. As of January 2016, as many of you know, if you're watching this and you're in the home care industry, there is a license required by the state depending on how your business is structured. That may include your business. You must hire certified employee caregivers. And you also need to pay overtime as defined by the current state law. You must provide workman's comp insurance for caregivers and other legal requirements, with up to $50,000 fine in California for employees not covered by workman's comp insurance. And then non-compliance fines of $900 a day will be imposed. Okay, so in 2013, Decision Analyst was commissioned by Legal Shield, the largest legal entity in America, to do a study and to learn more about small business owners. And that's what this is going to be. This is going to be a summary of what they discovered. They found that 13 million small business owners, that amounts to 60% of all small business owners, experienced significant legal events over the past 2 years. The average small business owner spent $3,382 on legal expenses. And of these 13 million small business owners, the majority reported that they did not hire an attorney to help with their legal issues. They did not want to pay that high hourly rate to get legal help. And less than 20% of the United States small business owners subscribe to a legal plan, which is what we're going to talk about today, and gives affordable legal advice, contract review, and much more. And most are unaware that these services exist. And 100% of those small business owners that subscribe to one of our legal plans are satisfied with the service. Okay, so we're going to talk about cost-effective legal solutions that address starting, running, or growing your business, managing client relationships to maximum cash collections and retention, managing your vendor relationships to ensure timely fulfillment of contract terms and retention, and managing employee relationships for the benefit of both the company and the employee, and industry risk management, so your company is compliant with current regulations and laws. Okay, so let's talk about the company, Legal Shield. They're an established company with a very unique service. They were established in 1972. They do $450 million each year in revenue and growing. They provide coverage in both the US and Canada, and they protect almost 4 million lives now, and 40,000 of those are with voluntary benefits, and 50,000 small business owners are protected with our plans. We have a network of quality law firms all across the US and Canada, and we have what we call a closed panel system versus a referral system. So with Legal Shield, you're not going to have to worry about which law firm, which attorney to call. Legal Shield has already done the legwork. We have 8,500 specialized attorneys. And you can see in the lower left-hand corner a photo of the corporate office of Legal Shield, which is located in Ada, Oklahoma, and they have 700 employees. And as a matter of fact, great news, they were voted one of the top 5 companies in America to service their clients just last week. So that is just wonderful. It's one of the best companies to work for. Okay, so what we're going to look at is a new legal paradigm, and that's what Legal Shield has brought, a new legal paradigm. The old way is to pay a high hourly rate, such as, like in my area, it's $350 per hour, average, and versus a Legal Shield membership, which starts at actually like $15 a month, depending on the plan, if it's a group plan. Okay, so that's a lot more attractive. And how is this possible? Well, Legal Shield does the work. They're a major corporation, and they contract with law firms, top law firms all across the nation. And for every membership dollar that's collected, Legal Shield takes 1/3 of that dollar and gives it to the provider law firm, so that when members call, members will call them directly. The law firm will service that member within 8 business hours for personal and 4 business hours for business owners. So for instance, in my state, which is California, our law firm gets $1.7 million every single month from Legal Shield to service the members in the state of California. So when I first became a member, which was 6 years ago, I thought, what type of an attorney am I going to get for less than $20 a month? And I just assumed that it would be some yahoo attorney that was just trying to drum up some business because he wasn't or she wasn't good enough to, attract anybody else, any of the wealthy clients. But that's just not what this is about. This is our legal plan is to legal services what medical insurance is to hospital bills and doctors. So that's how this works. And with 4 million members, we create a lot of buying power, giving Legal Shield members the best law firms that money can buy. And we do have some validation by third-party companies like Yelp, Better Business Bureau, Consumer Affairs. And so now we're going to get to the part where we're going to take a look at a few questions. And the first question is, would you call an attorney for business legal advice if you weren't billed for the consultation? Of course you would. Well, as a Legal Shield member, you will be able to contact your provider law firm and get business advice on an unlimited number of issues at no additional cost. Okay, unlimited. That means if you had an employee question on Monday, you can call, and most of the time I have a 15-minute conversation with an attorney in that area of expertise. And then later in the afternoon, if I thought I had a tax question, I could call back again and a tax attorney would call me back. And then if I had a question on medical insurance, I could call again the next day. There's no limit to the number of issues that you can use your membership for. And I actually had one person ask me about, or make a comment saying that I would probably be unable to use a service because I have so many issues to talk about. And I said, absolutely not. That's not the way this membership works. Okay, let's look at the second question. Would you ask an attorney to make a call or write a letter for your business if you didn't get billed for it? Of course you would. And as a Legal Shield member, your attorney will make calls or write letters for your business, and it's included at no additional cost. Okay, would you also agree that it's better to have an attorney review your business documents or contracts before you sign? And how many of us have just signed the agreement or the contract or the document without regard to what really was in it? And I know for me, I did this. I realized that, my goodness, I've got this, ability to call the law firm before I sign this contract. So I did that, and I found that they had left out one very, very important condition, and it would have cost me thousands of dollars over the length of time. I can't even tell you what that saved me in losses. It was tremendous. And I didn't pay for that. That was all included. So let's take a look at the service that you'll get as a Legal Shield member. Your attorney will review up to 40 documents and contracts per year, included in your membership at no additional cost. Okay. Some of you would most likely like help in collecting monies owed to your company, but wouldn't it be nice if you could have that without giving up a percentage to collect that money? Because a lot of times, the business owners I speak with, it's not even worth it. There's not enough margin once you give away that percentage to the collection company. But I'll tell you what, as a Legal Shield member, your provider attorney will write debt collection letters for your business, and we have collected on average $22 million every single year and returned every single penny back to our members. It is fabulous. Okay, and then of course what we're talking about today with new regulations, are you concerned about non-compliance fines and potential lawsuits? Well, as a Legal Shield member, you'll get unlimited legal advice, and if your business is sued, you'll have 75 hours of attorney representation at no additional cost. That's every single year. Now, I might add that we do have a plan that does not offer this, so that if this is not a need in your industry, then we have a plan that does not include that, and that's a $39 a month plan. But we have two other plans that do include this. So it's really based on what your company needs are. So let's take a look at the numbers. Let's just say we have a 100-hour lawsuit billed at $300 per hour. Well, that equals $30,000 without a Legal Shield membership right here. 100 hours times 300 is $30,000. But what if you have our plan that includes 75 hours? Okay, we're going to look at what I've got down here, the Small Business 50 legal plan. That means that you've got up to 50 employees and you qualify for this plan. That plan is $89 a month. Okay, so that would give you 75 hours without being billed for the attorney. But for the other hours, because it's a 100-hour lawsuit, you'd have the $300 rate at a 25% discount, which all of our members qualify for this discount. That would make the rate $225 an hour, and times 25 hours, that would be $5,625 for the attorney for 75 hours. Okay, or without this plan, that would be $30,000. Now, we don't know if we're going to be named as a defendant in a lawsuit, but I'm telling you that this is peace of mind for a lot of our small business owners, just knowing that they've got this protected just in case. That's an 81% savings with our SB 50 legal plan. And then we'll just take a look at some of the services that our members are using. A lot of them like the debt collection letter. Let's say they needed 3. And that would be billed at a half an hour times 3. That would be $450. And let's say they have 1 contract reviewed, which would take 1 hour, about $300 then. And then they had 1 legal consultation for half an hour. That would be at $150 based on that $300 an hour rate. If you add all these up here, that comes to $900. And if they do that monthly, annualized, that would be $10,800 without a Legal Shield membership. But with the Small Biz 50, which is $89 a month, 3 debt collection letters included, 1 contract review is included, 1 legal consult is included. The rate is $89 a month times 12 months. That's $1,068 for an entire year of access to a full service law firm. That is a 90% savings with this membership. Excuse me. Okay, and let's go ahead and look then at what your options are here. The Legal Shield small business plans, we've got 10, 50, and 100. And the 10 is for 10 or fewer employees, the 50 for 50 or fewer employees. And we only cover small business owners with fewer than 100 employees. Let me call you right back. I'm on a business conference. Let me call you back in a few minutes. Excuse me, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so the Small Biz 10 is $39 a month. The Small Biz 50, $89, and the Small Biz 100, $149 a month. Okay, now this right here, designated users, means that if you have an office manager or an HR director, they are going to be able to also call the law firm. So instead of getting their own business plan so they can have access, they are covered inside this membership. Okay, so with the Small Biz 10, you got 2 and then 3 with this plan and up to 5 with the Small Biz 100. All 3 plans give you unlimited minutes and matters for legal consultation. And each of these plans gives you 3 consultations a year for 30 minutes, and that's for some complex legal situations, which we'll go over briefly in a moment. Legal correspondence, 20, 30, or 40 calls and letters per year, depending on what you need. Collection, if that's an issue for you and you need 10 per month, then get the Small Biz 50 plan. Otherwise, we've got 5, 10, and 15 per month. And then for document or contract review, 20, 30, or 40 per year, depending on what you need. And then, of course, the Small Biz 10 does not include trial defense, but the other 2 plans do. And then they all give you an additional 25% discount, okay, on matters that are not covered inside this plan. Okay, so the reduced fee and contingency fee services. Your provider law firm will provide legal services at that 25% preferred member rate on the normal corporate hourly rate for legal services that are not otherwise covered inside this membership, including pre-existing conditions. And if your provider law firm agrees to accept your case on this basis, you're going to get an additional 5% discount from your provider law firm's standard rates for contingency fees. Okay, and then here's the designated consultations. This is given, you're entitled to 3 per year for 30 minutes each. And some of the legal matters you can go ahead and read: securities, antitrust laws, complex tax issues, immigration, international law, trademarks, patents, copyrights, import, export, and custom matters. So you'll get 3 of those per year. Okay, now, as a business owner, do you have a consultant who can assist you in business decisions? Do you have a marketing professional? How about a social media and advertising strategy person? How about business training for you and for your employees? How about help with corporate minutes? Do you have a company website? Do you have an updated employee handbook? All these things are really important for small business owners, okay? And many of them don't have it, and they spend extra time. Well, I've got a great solution for you here. It's called Go Small Biz. And if you look to the right, some of you will probably recognize his face. This is Fran Tarkenton. You can see down below. He was actually the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings and one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Well, as many of you probably know, you've probably seen him on CNN and Fox News. He is a serial entrepreneur, and he has provided one of his businesses is Go Small Biz, and we partner with him. As a matter of fact, Fran has had the small business plan for almost 20 years and is very passionate about the protection that Legal Shield provides. So we partner with him and give you an exclusive rate. Right now, all of these different services are bundled for one low $14.95 a month, okay, if you have the business plan membership. Okay, outside of this membership, you're going to be paying $39 a month for the very exact same program, which gives you unlimited business consultation. And this is one of our members' favorite features. They just go to his membership site, and you can put in your question, and if it's a common question, it's going to already be accounted for in the FAQs. But if not, you will have a business consultant get back with you on your question. Okay, you've got a do-it-yourself website builder, and that's got hosting, so you're not going to have to pay for that. You'll get a digital marketing dashboard. You'll get executive mentoring with Fran Tarkenton. There are online learning courses for you and your employees, so you don't have to go out and buy them and pay for them. They've got a lot of online learning courses. Business and legal forms are included. They've got a transaction tracker, business risk assessment, weekly business updates. And one person asked me if they have employee handbook templates, and yes, they do. So you're going to be getting a lot of great use. So a lot of people do need to update their employee manuals, and this is a great start, using one of the templates, filling it out and customizing it for your business, then having the law firm review it to make sure everything looks good and is in compliance with current state law, and you've got your employee handbook done. That's just one example of some of the things that you can get with Go Small Biz. Okay, now we know that according to research, 57 million Americans have legal issues. 66% take time away from work to deal with personal and legal issues. And of course, we know the majority believe that attorneys are too expensive. And 90% would call if they did have an affordable plan. So now we're going to just talk about you personally and your family. We know that you have a business to provide for the needs of your family. So I want to ask you, have you completed your last will and testament? And I know this is a touchy question, And many business owners just right away say, I need to get this done. Okay, is your medical directive and durable power of attorney completed? Is your family's legal identity protected? All of it. Do your family members have 24/7 legal access? Okay, so we're going to start with identity theft because it does claim over 18 million victims a year in America. And that number is actually quite low because we know with the Target breach at the end of 2013, there was over 100 million identities that were stolen or hacked into. We know that with healthcare breaches, they've got all of our medical records. That's been a big, big target over the last few years, with 500,000 victims a year, just in that area of identity theft. And we also know that most identity theft happens at the workplace. So it's very important not just to protect your family and their identity, but to offer it as an employee benefit if you have employees. It's a great thing to do, okay? And can also just protect your company from some liability there. And we can talk about that another time, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. Contact me if that would be of interest to you. Okay, identity theft, we know, has been the #1 complaint for 15 years in a row, filed with the Federal Trade Commission. And there are different categories. The first category is credit or financial. When I talk to people, this is all they bring up. You know, their credit cards, the financial element of identity theft, but that only accounts for 20% of the total sum of identity theft. But what about the other areas? How about social security number? How about your driver's license, your medical insurance, you know, criminal or character ID fraud, tax returns? We know that in 2013 alone and every year following, there are $5.2 billion collected fraudulently by thieves. And that's what they're doing right now. It's January. They are just heating up to steal our tax returns. Okay, child's identity theft. That's another big, big area. And children are exponentially exploited with their identity because the thief can have it for about 18 years without even being caught. And then synthetic, that's just where they construct a brand new identity using bits and pieces of your identity. Okay. So we partner exclusively with Kroll. Okay. They're the company that handles, they're the gold standard in identity theft solutions. They've been established since 1972. They operate in 33 countries. They have offices in 65 cities. They protect 1 million lives, plus the members' children. They've done 200,000 credit or personal consultations. They've got 3,000 licensed investigators. They have a Fortune 500 clientele. Pardon that clock. Forgot to unplug that. And they are the global leader in IDT services. You can see their corporate offices, which are located in New York. We know that victims face issues like getting a loan, getting harassed by debt collectors. They get arrested for crimes they didn't commit. They get billed for things they didn't buy, like the mother of 4 children in one state who got a bill for a child that was born in another state that she'd never been to. Yep, she got the bill, and it wasn't her baby. And people use, actually this number is close to 200 hours of their own time on average. If it's criminal identity theft, it can take 5. I saw one victim, it was 5 years. She still didn't even have it cleared. And $2,000 out of pocket. That same woman, she had already spent $50,000 of her own money. And they have to miss work to resolve these issues. So that could be really, really hard on a small business if your employee had to resolve their IDT issues and take time away from work, because that's a lot of time that they're going to need to clear it up. Okay, and ID Shield is the program that we monitor what matters. You can see all these things, your privacy. Okay, all these things are monitored, and your security. Those are all your financial accounts. We give around-the-clock protection, 24/7, 365 emergency hotline for after hours. They've provided unlimited personal and credit consultations, and a credit report with a detailed analysis. You'll get your credit score. That's not going to be with an extra fee like many of you have probably paid. I have paid that. But with this program, you don't have to pay for that. It's included. You're going to get credit monitoring by all 3 bureaus. And this is what the free mobile app looks like. So go to your app store and you're going to get this. And you'll have everything accessible at your fingertips. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. Okay. You'll get Web Watcher, Public Persona, which is any changes to your social security or your address. You'll also get Lost Wallet Assistance, and your social security number will be searched in 34 billion public records every day. And they're going to be checking the registered sex offender search to make sure that your address doesn't get listed by a sex offender. Okay, and the main difference between our program and all the other competitors is they offer resolution services, which means they're going to send you a kit and a checklist of things to do when your identity is breached. But with ID Shield, our private investigators, like Patrick here in this picture, are going to do the restoration for you. We've got a team of licensed private investigators that will do whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to clear your records for life. They've done over 10,000 restorations, and it's backed by a $5 million service guarantee. Okay, now, I don't know if you were aware, I wasn't before I started protecting my identity. I didn't know that 70% of all identity theft fraud is a legal event. And we did have one of my business colleagues in the state of Texas got pulled over for a fix-it ticket, and he knew the cop from church. He had Legal Shield membership. So when his friend ran the license plate, just as a routine thing, he came back and said to Bo that he had 47 felonies and probably 70-something misdemeanors. Well, that wasn't legitimate. He didn't commit any crimes, but what it was identity theft. And they say it would have cost him $2.2 million to clear everything up on his own, because the identity theft was in 5 different states. And it goes on to city, county, state, national, the FBI, all these databases, and it's really hard to clear it. Okay, and he had a competitor identity theft product that he got from his work. And it was our #1 competitor. And he called them, this is right around Christmas time in 2007, I believe it was. And he was told that they couldn't help him because it was a legal event and he needed to call an attorney. So he had them cancel immediately, and he ended up purchasing ID Shield, which is what we're going to talk about next. He had to pay $800 because it was a pre-existing issue, but it saved him $2.2 million. So would you pay $800 to save $2.2 million in the event that you had 47 felonies? I think so. But what if you could pay 33 cents a day if you're an individual, or 66 cents a day, and have this complete service? That's a better option, okay, and gives peace of mind. So in 2002, Kroll, who was founded in 1972, they contacted Legal Shield because it's the largest legal company in the nation, and asked if we would be their partner to provide a complete and comprehensive solution for consumer identity theft fraud. So together with the legal and the licensed investigators, we worked to resolve our members' legal and identity theft issues. And you can see here, I'm going to let you just kind of scan this list. These are the top 25 legal issues identified. And you can see it's not just the biggies, like getting a divorce. Of course, that's on here, of course. Adopting a child, that's on here. Or filing bankruptcy, of course, that's on here. But those are the biggies, and that's when people will borrow money to get legal help. But you can see there's a lot of other things that are on this list. And this is just the top 25. Got a list of the top 100. Let's just kind of tally up how many of these you can relate to. And if you're on the Facebook page, you can go ahead and put that number below. Okay. We believe everyone deserves legal protection, so Legal Shield gives affordable access to attorneys no matter how trivial or traumatic the situation. You will have top-rated law firms with specialized attorneys at your side for less than $20 a month. And this is for the personal side, just to refresh your memory. Okay, and who's protected? You will be protected, your spouse or partner, your never married dependent children under the age of 26 living at home, or if they're away as a full-time college student, any dependent children under the age of 18 for whom you're a legal guardian. And if you have physically or mentally challenged dependent children, as long as they're living and depend on you, they'll be covered for life. Okay, and then the services. Again, you have legal advice on an unlimited number of issues. You'll have 24/7 emergency access to an attorney, so that's very nice if you are arrested, if you're detained by an officer, if you fear the loss of custody of your children. There's a lot of unique situations in the state of California right now where people need 24/7 emergency access because it happens after hours. If you're in a serious car accident, always call this number. Okay, letters or phone calls which are made on your behalf. Okay, again, this has contract and document review, up to 15 pages each. We also have a family domestic services, which begins 90 days after you enroll and includes uncontested adoption, annulment, divorce, and name change. It also includes residential loan doc services. Okay, and then one of the greatest services that our members love is the fact that included in this plan, lawyers will prepare your will, your living will, and your medical power of attorney. That's all included for all adult members in your household. That's included in this membership at no additional cost. And that's like a $1,000 value per person. Okay, and then we've got traffic-related issues, which include moving traffic violations. So wouldn't you agree that it's really expensive to pay for the car insurance? And what if you got a speeding ticket? You know what that means. That means that you got points on your record for 3 years, your insurance goes up, and if you can't, and if it's already expensive, just think when you got the increase in your insurance, what that's going to do. So we provide traffic representation in court, and our attorneys will try to get those points knocked off or reduced, whatever they can to benefit our members in this area of law. We also have criminal related traffic, which means that if somebody dies in an accident and you're driving legally, you're not driving under the influence, and you've got your registration, everything is legal, but yet somebody dies and that other party decides to sue you, that goes into criminal traffic, and our auto insurance policies do not cover criminal traffic. But with this membership, you will have attorney representation in court from start to finish, and these cases are pretty long, and they cost somewhere between $30,000 and $100,000, and all that will be at no additional cost. It's included in this membership. IRS audit assistance up to 50 hours a year if you get that dreadful IRS notice. You will also have civil trial defense for covered situations. That's if you're named as a defendant in a civil lawsuit. Okay, and that includes some pretrial hours. You will get 60 hours upon enrolling. And this area of coverage increases every year by 60 hours, and it maxes out the 5th year at 300 hours. Okay. And then all of our members qualify for a 25% discounted hourly rate with an attorney, and that would include pre-existing issues. That would also include if you're a plaintiff in a lawsuit. In other words, you're suing someone, it would fall under this area of discounted fees. If you run over your trial hours, say you enroll today and you got 60 hours and your neighbor decides to sue you, for whatever reason, because they can. You don't need a good reason in America. And you've got to defend yourself, and it goes to 70 hours. Well, those 10 extra hours will be at the reduced rate. If you have a bankruptcy filing or you want to put together a family trust, it'll fall under this discounted rate. All of our members get their own member site, located right here at mylegalshield.com. And this is just a screenshot of my member site. You see all the tabs, settings. You've got home, account settings, information on your provider law firm, resources. This is one of my favorite tabs. And then your plan information. And the reason I like the resources is because we have a lot of great things. We've got Office Depot, we've got Disneyland discounts, we've got Magic Mountain discounts. We've got so many discounts, I can't even name them all. And oftentimes, with the savings that our members are getting from those different partner stores, they're actually making money. The membership isn't costing them anything. It's kind of washing it out. There's 100 legal forms, and right here, you click right here for on-demand legal forms, and here's some videos that go over different types of issues. It's a great place to check out. And then here's a picture of the app. It's changed just a little bit, but basically you've got everything at your fingertips. You've got your law firm, you've got your identity theft advisor, and you've got member services, and then here is that red hot button for emergencies. Okay, and here's just a little picture of the member perks I was telling you. So if you have a family, Legal Shield, I need to change this rate. Legal Shield is $19.95 a month, and the identity theft for an entire family is $19.95 a month. So this should actually say $39.90. So I'm going to go ahead and change that later, so I apologize for that. And the savings per month, we've got cell service savings, averages about $15 a month, and then cable and internet savings, the savings is about $31 a month. So if you get those two, just those two, you know, every month, that's $46 savings. And that'll more than pay for your membership. Okay, and then here are the plans. The cost for the Small Biz 10 is $39 a month. The Small Biz 50 is $89 a month, and the Small Biz 100 plan is $149 a month. Okay, and we talked about the business consultants, the do-it-yourself website, and all those different services with Go Small Biz. If you want that, that's an extra $14.95 a month. And you know, you can upgrade or downgrade, whatever you feel meets your business needs. You have that that choice and that option. Okay, and then for your family Legal Shield and ID Shield, it does include a one-time $10 enrollment fee just for this plan, for the legal plan. And for individuals, and that means that you have no dependents and you are not married, to cover both your family, yourself, and the identity for legal and ID Shield is only $27.90 a month. That's less than $1 a day. And for families, it's just a little over $1 a day at $39.90 a month. Okay, and that basically covers this program. I'm going to go ahead and exit the screen, and I'm going to go over a couple questions that I know I get all the time. And one of the questions is, do I have to sign a long-term contract? And that's a great question. And I wanted to say that the answer is no. There is no long-term contract. This is month to month. But I do want to say that we do have members on the books for 10, 20, 30 years. I've been a member for 6 years. I will never be without legal access. I think I need it more today than I did 6 years ago when I enrolled, because things are changing rapidly. And just knowing what your rights are in any given situation is just an invaluable benefit. Let's see. Another question I do have is regarding the employee benefit. The employee benefit doesn't come at a cost to the business. Most of the business owners will offer it as a voluntary benefit, and we do that with payroll deduction. And I go over the ROI for the business. It actually is a win-win-win for everybody. It's a win for the employees because we help them with all their major personal issues, like custody issues, divorce, getting a traffic ticket or getting their estate planning, or if they're the executor of their parents' estate. You know, they've got a lot of different issues, and you know, they bring it to work. So we help them and we save the company money and increase productivity. So those are just at no cost to the company. But if you do want to ask about that, I'm back on the Facebook page. I'm going to scroll down. There's a contact me button. Just go ahead and click that button. The other thing I want to say is if you're watching this presentation and you're not in the state of California, please contact me. Please contact me, because this plan is not necessarily offered in all states, and some states do require a license. So please contact me if you are outside of California, and I will let you know what plan we have, because these business plans did change a couple years ago. We do have plans in all states, but it may not be the exact plan, and I do want to get you the right information. Okay, and then the other thing is, if you do want to protect your business today, you can go ahead and do that by clicking Protect Now. And when you click this button, I'll go ahead and do that to show you what will happen. You will just confirm your email address, and it's all Facebook authorized. So it's whatever email address that you gave Facebook. I don't know why this is taking so long, but that's what you're going to see next. And if it takes too much longer, then I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you will see that. Of course, this is mine, so you're seeing my picture. And you just go ahead and click Confirm Now. And then when you do that, it's going to take you to the enrollment page. Okay, and here you go. Your business deserves legal protection. And you can read all this if you want, but basically it's going to be the things that we just went over. Okay, and to buy now, you just click the Buy Now. That's all you do. Just click right here. Okay, you'll select California. I'm going to assume that most of you saw this on my Facebook page or my Twitter, and you're seeing the California. So if you're not in California, again, you're going to contact me first. But here you go. It's already got the 3 different plans for small business owners. And you'll just go ahead, if you want to just get the plan details, most of our home care providers are getting this plan. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this. Oops. Don't know why that's happening, but if you click this, you can just go ahead and print this out. It's going to give you a rundown of everything I went over. And just until you get your digital member kit, which you'll get in your email after you enroll. Okay, now, if you wanted to start here, Small Biz 89, and you wanted to get that Go Small Biz supplement, you just click right here, and you go ahead and enroll. And it's going to go ahead and give you the new price. And you sign up right here. And when you're done, if you do want to enroll in the personal plan, you can just go here. All right. And if you're married and you have a family, you'll go ahead and go with the 1995 plan. And you'll go ahead and add the ID Shield family. And that should be it. If you want extra trial defense, it's a little supplement. But just go ahead and add the ID Shield family and then go ahead and sign up. It'll include right here the $10 enrollment fee. And you just go ahead and sign up. I'll just show you what that looks like. Okay, so when you're signing up here, you'll see the ID Shield, $19.95. I'm sorry, Legal Shield, ID Shield, and that $10 enrollment fee. And then you just go ahead and click Next. And the next payment, it tells you, will be the 19th of February. And you go to the next page and fill it out. And it's as simple as that. And when you're done, you will see you're going to set up your payment. It'll review everything. It'll send you a confirmation. And this Activate, take the time, because what this is going to do is take you to the page where you can activate up to 10 credit cards and your bank accounts so that Kroll can start your monitoring and making sure that all those things are safe. Okay, if you don't do that today, then come back and do that. But that's as simple as it is. And I wanted to also just ask you one final question. When is the best time to protect your family and your business? Okay, so you may have had some ideas what that might be. And if you're on this live, you can go ahead and jot down, even if you're watching a replay of this, because when this is over with, this live version, it will be on my Facebook page. the replay. So you can watch this again. You can share this with other people in the home care industry, and they can watch this replay. But to answer that question, when is the best time to protect your family and your business? The answer is before you need it. Before you need it. It's just like car insurance. You know, you can't go to a car insurance company and say, I just got in an accident, I want to insure this car. They're not going to insure it if it happens after the fact. And the same is true with this, that when you put this plan in place, you have unlimited access to the law firm for all your personal and your business needs. So thank you so much for being a part of this. And one last thing I want to go over before saying goodbye is to click here on the more, and you can, see that these are all different apps. These are called apps. This right here is an app. This is the app for the home care industry, okay, which is right here. But you can see Protect Your Family. This is just general business, not home care. If you know anyone that's a foster parent or a real estate professional, a law officer, teacher, we've got all these different areas, and we've got live presentations for each of them. We also have Protect Your Identity. And the other thing I wanted to encourage you to do is like the page, because I will be putting tips on my timeline, which is right here. Okay, so you can go ahead and like that and receive more tips on legal and identity theft. So again, thank you for being a part of this, and have a great week.